What if I told you that the biggest threat to your trading account isn't the market? It's not inflation, it's not hedge funds, it's not market makers, and it's definitely not some secret strategy you're missing. The biggest threat to your trading account is sitting inside your own head. Think about the last time you broke your trading rules. Maybe you promised yourself you would only take one trade. Maybe you swore you would never move your stop loss again. Maybe you told yourself you would stay patient and wait for the perfect setup. And yet, somehow, when the moment arrived, everything changed. You saw the market moving. Your heart started beating faster. You felt excitement. You felt anticipation. You felt like this opportunity was too good to miss. So you clicked the buy button. And in that moment, logic disappeared. Discipline disappeared. The plan disappeared. You weren't following your strategy anymore. You were following a feeling so powerful that it can make intelligent people do irrational things over and over again. Most traders believe they have a discipline problem, but the truth is much deeper than that. The truth is that your brain is running an ancient survival program that was never designed for modern financial markets. Every time you open a chart, every time you see a candle move, every time you imagine making money, a powerful chemical begins influencing your decisions. That chemical is dopamine. And until you understand how dopamine affects your trading, you will continue fighting a battle you don't even realize you're in. Today, we're going to uncover the hidden dopamine trap that destroys traders, empties accounts, and keeps millions of people stuck in the same cycle year after year. Because once you understand what's happening inside your brain, you'll begin seeing your trading behavior in a completely different way. To understand why dopamine is such a powerful force, we first need to understand why it exists. Thousands of years ago, human beings faced a very different world. There were no stock charts, no trading platforms, no financial markets. Our ancestors spent most of their time searching for food, finding shelter, and avoiding danger. The human brain evolved to help people survive in that environment. One of the tools it developed was dopamine. Many people call dopamine the pleasure chemical, but that's actually not accurate. Dopamine isn't really about pleasure. It's about pursuit. It's about desire. It's about motivation. Dopamine is what pushes you towards something you believe might be rewarding. Imagine a hunter searching for food thousands of years ago. When he spotted signs of potential food, his brain released dopamine. Not after he found the food, before. The dopamine motivated him to keep going, to keep searching, to keep pursuing. Without dopamine, human beings would have lacked the motivation needed to survive. The problem is that your brain still uses that exact same system today. The difference is that instead of hunting animals, many traders spend their days hunting setups. Instead of searching forests, they search charts. Instead of tracking prey, they track candlesticks. And every time they believe a reward might be close, dopamine enters the picture. The brain doesn't care whether you're chasing food or chasing profits. To the brain, a potential reward is a potential reward. And that's where the trouble begins. Now let's talk about something fascinating. Scientists have discovered that dopamine becomes even stronger when rewards are uncertain. Think about that for a moment. If someone gives you $10 every day at exactly the same time, eventually it becomes boring. Your brain adapts. But if someone randomly gives you $10 without warning, your brain becomes obsessed with the possibility. You never know when the reward is coming, and that's exactly what makes it exciting. This is why slot machines are so addictive. This is why gambling can become so dangerous. And this is why trading creates such powerful emotional reactions. Every trade contains uncertainty. You never know what will happen next. The next candle could explode upward. The next candle could collapse. The next trade could double your confidence or destroy it. Your brain becomes captivated by possibility. It starts anticipating outcomes. It starts imagining rewards. And every time that anticipation grows,
Dopamine follows. Many traders believe they're addicted to making money. In reality, they're often addicted to the possibility of making money. They're addicted to anticipation. They're addicted to excitement. They're addicted to the emotional roller coaster that uncertainty creates. And the scary part is that most people don't even realize it's happening.
Imagine a trader sitting in front of his screen. He has already taken his planned trade for the day. According to his strategy, his work is finished. He should close the platform and walk away. But instead, he stays. He watches. He waits. He scrolls through charts. He checks different markets. He searches for opportunities that don't actually exist. Why? Because his brain wants stimulation. His brain wants another hit of anticipation. His brain wants another chance at reward. This is the beginning of overtrading. Overtrading doesn't start with greed. It starts with dopamine. It starts with the desire to experience excitement again. One trade becomes two. Two becomes five. Five becomes 10. And before long, the trader isn't following a system anymore. He's chasing a feeling that becomes harder and harder to satisfy. Just like any addiction, the more you feed it, the more it wants. And that's why some traders find themselves staring at charts for 10 hours a day without realizing that their behavior has become emotional rather than logical. Their decisions are no longer driven by opportunity. They're driven by craving. Now let's talk about one of the most destructive behaviors in trading: revenge trading. Every experienced trader has felt it at least once. You take a trade, the setup looks perfect, everything aligns with your strategy. You enter with confidence. Then the market moves against you. At first you're calm. You tell yourself it's just one loss. But then another loss comes, and another. Suddenly your emotions begin to change. You start feeling frustration, then anger, then desperation. The money isn't even the biggest issue anymore. The real issue is how the loss makes you feel. Your brain hates losing. In fact, psychological studies have shown that the pain of losing is often stronger than the pleasure of winning. Think about that. A $1,000 loss can hurt more than a $1,000 gain feels good. And because your brain wants relief from that pain, it starts searching for a solution. That's when the dangerous thoughts appear. I'll make it back with one more trade. I just need one good setup. The market owes me. The moment you start thinking like this, you're no longer trading. You're negotiating with your emotions. And emotions are terrible traders. The market doesn't know you exist. The market doesn't know how much you've lost. The market doesn't care about your frustration. But your brain cares. Your brain desperately wants relief, and it tricks you into believing that another trade will solve the problem. Sometimes it works, which makes the habit even more dangerous, because occasional rewards strengthen emotional behavior. And before long, revenge trading becomes a pattern instead of an exception. What's even more surprising is that winning can sometimes be more dangerous than losing. Most people assume losses destroy traders, but some of the biggest account blowups happen immediately after a series of successful trades. Imagine a trader who wins 5 trades in a row. His confidence grows. His account balance increases. Everything feels easy. The market seems predictable. He starts believing he has finally figured everything out. At this point, dopamine is flooding his system. Every win reinforces his confidence. Every profit strengthens his belief that he can't be wrong. And that's exactly when the danger begins. Because confidence slowly transforms into overconfidence. The trader starts increasing position sizes. He starts ignoring risk management. He enters trades that don't fully meet his criteria. He begins trusting his feelings more than his rules. Without realizing it, success becomes the very thing that destroys him. The market has a way of humbling people who become too comfortable. And when reality finally arrives, it arrives fast. One bad trade becomes a bigger loss. One bigger loss becomes panic. And suddenly weeks of profits disappear in a matter of hours. Not because the strategy failed, not because the market changed,
but because dopamine convinced the trader that he was smarter than his system.
The truth is that professional traders experience the exact same emotions as everyone else. They feel excitement. They feel fear. They feel frustration. They feel temptation. The difference is not that they have eliminated emotions. The difference is that they understand emotions. They know emotions cannot be trusted. Imagine a pilot flying through severe turbulence. Would you want that pilot making decisions based on fear? Of course not. You would want him following procedures, following training, following a system. Professional traders think the same way. They understand that emotions change every minute. Fear appears, confidence appears, greed appears, excitement appears. But systems remain stable. Rules remain stable. Processes remain stable. That's why successful traders build routines. That's why they use checklists. That's why they define risk before entering trades. Because they know something most beginners never learn. The goal is not to become emotionless. The goal is to become disciplined enough that emotions don't control your actions. And that requires a completely different mindset. Instead of asking, how much money can I make today? Professionals ask, can I execute my process correctly today? That single shift changes everything. So how do you escape the dopamine trap? The first step is awareness. You cannot control something you don't recognize. Start paying attention to your emotional state before entering trades. Ask yourself a simple question. Am I taking this trade because it fits my system or because I'm feeling something? That question alone can save you thousands of dollars. The second step is reducing unnecessary exposure. Many traders spend entire days staring at charts. The problem is that constant exposure creates constant temptation. The more opportunities you see, the more your brain wants action. And the more action your brain wants, the harder discipline becomes. The third step is creating a written trading plan. Not a plan stored in your memory, a plan written on paper. A plan you can review before every trade. A plan that protects you from emotional decision-making. The fourth step is journaling. Most traders avoid journaling because it's boring, but that's exactly why it works. Journaling forces honesty. It exposes patterns. It reveals emotional mistakes that would otherwise remain invisible. And finally, learn to focus on process instead of outcomes. A good trade can lose money. A bad trade can make money. What matters is not the outcome. What matters is whether you followed your system. Because long-term success comes from consistency, not excitement, not adrenaline, not dopamine. Consistency. The market is one of the greatest psychological tests ever created. Every day it challenges your patience. Every day it challenges your discipline. Every day it challenges your emotions. Most people enter trading believing they need better indicators, better strategies, better entries. But eventually they discover something surprising. The real challenge isn't finding opportunities. The real challenge is managing themselves. The charts aren't the enemy. The market isn't the enemy. Your greatest opponent is the voice inside your own head. The voice that says, take one more trade. The voice that says, move your stop loss. The voice that says, ignore your plan. The voice that says, this time will be different. That voice is powered by ancient biological systems that evolved thousands of years ago. Systems designed for survival, not trading. And yet every successful trader learns the same lesson. The moment you stop chasing excitement, the moment you stop chasing dopamine, the moment you stop treating trading like entertainment, you begin transforming into a professional. Because professional trading is not about prediction. It's about execution. It's not about excitement. It's about discipline. It's not about being right. It's about managing risk. And when you finally understand that, everything changes. Your decisions improve. Your consistency improves. Your confidence improves. And most importantly, your relationship with the market changes forever.
So the next time you feel the urge to take an impulsive trade, remember this. It might not be your strategy talking. It might not even be logic talking. It might simply be dopamine. And the traders who learn to recognize that voice are the ones who give themselves a real chance at long-term success. If you enjoyed this video and want more content on trading psychology, neuroscience, and the hidden forces that influence trader behavior, subscribe to NeuroTrader. Because mastering the market starts with mastering your mind. Brain, graph, rocket.